Yo, we're here. We're ready. We're I can't believe it's Thursday again. Like, how does this freaking happen? Do your days go as fast as mine? Because I feel like life is in warp speed here. But I guess it's better, right?
Most weeks go by pretty quickly. And next week's a short week. A very short week for you.
Ugh, yeah. Hopefully hurricane levels Jamaica and I won't have to go. Sorry, Jamaica.
It's going to be like ground zero there.
Yeah.
We're all going to be sitting there.
My sister's getting married, so I have to go to Jamaica.
Yeah. Half the OG crew will be in Jamaica next week.
Mm-hmm. You want to go in my stead?
Nope.
Come on.
Nope. I'm good.
You're a vacation type. You like to travel and see the world.
Yeah. I'm happy here for now. I'm not.
Okay. All right, so we're here, and I'm doing a bunch of duty here today. I'm shooting a vlog for the Inside the Hex. I just recorded my very first podcast where I wrote stuff down. It's like the first thing I've ever written anything down for, as I'm developing my. I'm working on figuring out compulsiveness and what that means. So I'm really reading definitions and stuff. You guys will really get a good kick out of that one.
Matt reads the dictionary on the next edition.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I feel good about it. So,
nice.
Anyway, it's more therapy for me than anything. So hopefully the 3 other people that suffer from what I suffer from can get a benefit out of it.
All right,
That's what we got going on.
The good people of Facebook and Instagram really came through today. There's a bunch of good questions.
Oh,
here.
they're fired up.
Yeah, and we have some topics to discuss, some videos, But I understand you were looking at YouTube comments right before you came in here.
Oh,
Any that get you fired up? Or?
You know, one thing that just drives me freaking crazy is when people say, you're doing this all wrong, you need to use multiple wash mitts. How many times I have to say this? So let's think about this logically. I've gone over that. I was yelling at Kyle about this. He's sitting next to me. I'm yelling at him.
Poor Kyle.
He's like, why are you yelling at me? So I'm sitting there. I'm like, so this dude's like, you're doing it all wrong. So forget Florida. I know that's the excuse that everybody makes. Well, you're in Florida. So let's say I'm in Ireland and they've got dirt on the roads and mud, right? So I'm driving down the road and I get mud all over the place because I'm in the bog, right? I'm the peat gets all over the roads or whatever the heck's going on there. I've never been there, but I've seen pictures and videos. I drive down the road and I get mud all over it. And so I guess that's why we got stupid windshield wipers on our headlights and squirters there for that. I don't know why that's necessary. So I take my pressure washer and I blow off all the mud. 90% of it with a pressure washer.
Okay.
So now I'm in the same place that I would be if I lived in Florida. I just have a little bit of residue left over from the dirt. So then the argument is, well, you got to use multiple wash pads. Okay. So the way I wash my car, which is not like a freaking idiot, is I start at the top. And so you generally don't have mud all over the top of your car. You got it on like the rear bumper and the rocker areas. Maybe behind the front wheel. And so I start washing my car. Now, I've already blown off most of the dirt because I have a pressure washer. I'm pre-rinsing. And shoot, the Europeans use snow foam to strip the car, so shouldn't that technically be washing all the dirt off anyway? So now I wash the top of the car, I wash the hood, I wash the trunk, and my wash pad's not really all that dirty. And I take my wash pad and I go put it away and I get another wash pad that's clean. And now I wash the bottom of the car that's dirty. So what's the freaking point of having 2 wash pads? So I take my clean one and I put it away. So I understand that, well, maybe the secondary, maybe you have a second wash pad that only touches the bottom of the car. But here's the thing. Even if I use 13 wash pads, here's what I do. I take my wash pad and I put it in my bucket and I kind of wring out some of the dirt, and then I put it in my other bucket, and that does, gets rid of the dirt. And then by the end of the wash cycle, I've got about 8% of the dirt left in the wash pad. But here's the key. When I have the paint and there's dirt on the paint and I touch it, there's the dirt that scratches is there. Right? So the point of using the wash pad is to agitate the dirt so I can rinse it off. And so even you see these people making these freaking videos about, well, you got dirt in your wash bucket, so you should be using 14 wash pads. Well, there's dirt on the paint. So I could wash. I could show up with a brand new squeaky clean. I would just throw away my $30 wash pad every time I use 13 of them. Have every wash be $500, but yet there's still dirt on the paint. A little bit of dirt after I've rinsed it off, and then if I snow foamed it, stripped the surface, not even have less dirt. So why do I need 2 freaking wash pads? Anyway, you guy's a freaking idiot. So I said, you have no idea what you're talking about. That makes no sense. What's 2 wash pads? Why do you need 13 wash pads? You're still washing the dirty surface of the car. And we just get most of the dirt out of the wash pad. I know people say, well, the logic is, why do you need 2 wash buckets if you're not worried about the dirt that's in the bucket? Because you got enough water. I got 12 gallons of water that dilutes it enough to get it to, by the end of my wash, I've got like 12% dirt left over in my wash mitt. That, I've got 100% dirt on the paint, so adding another 12% isn't going to change the process. So that's freaking stupid.
But
End of story.
But if they want to buy 13 credit pads and credit mitts, the OG store is the place to go. In case you...
I like that sales pitch. Yeah, good job.
Don't buy just one, no matter what Matt says.
What do I know? I only wash cars.
Need a backup.
I'm just a freaking idiot.
And a backup.
I'm just an enthusiast.
All right, so I want to get to some questions here. First of all, there's lots of M5 material coming up in the video, so some folks were asking for an update on that. So where does it stand right now as it sits out there?
I'm about halfway through compounding, so I'm going to go out and shoot another video here on compounding. Just kind of yell at people again about stupid comments. And so I'll finish compounding, and then I got to back it out, and we're going to have to wash it off. We're adding 101 to the store because it's necessary, but I will never frickin' polish a car again with 101 if I can help it. My gosh, it made a mess of this whole... We got 101 on the Mac Pro over here. It's everywhere. So, yeah, I got a Tornador because I don't want to washer mod the Mark III. Interesting thing, the Mark III seems to run hotter, so I think washer modding it probably would not be smart. Because when you lose a Venturi effect of cooling when you space out the shroud. Anyway,
that addresses a question that Patrick Riley asked here. Have you thought about using the Tornador with a vacuum attachment for blowing out the polishing pads?
Yeah, but then you basically ruin your vacuum, with all that gunk. But that could work. I'm just walking. I'm just taking my fat rear end. I need to get in shape anyway, and just walking out there and just blowing out. It's only the compounding phase, but it does make me want to find some really stout solution where I don't have to turn the vacuum on all the time. But that certainly would work. It worked better than what I'm doing. But then you're kind of vacuuming the oil gets all over your vacuum, clogs it all up. You're basically going to ruin it. Instead, I just walk my fat rear end out, but I did buy a Tornador because I don't like the Tornador very much because it makes a big plume of crap everywhere, and so I prefer to have a tight tip. And then this is making me want to wash or mod my Mark III. I should probably just ruin it, buy a new one if that happened. But where I spirally spin it out, where the pad just spins and I blow it out that way. I prefer it's like more controllable that way, but because I'm blowing it out outside, I bought a Tornador. Finally, all these years, I finally bought one. Just showed up today.
So we have a Tornador video coming up then?
Well, it'll be in the video,
gotcha.
But not the thing is junk though. It's such crap. Like you pick it up, it's all junky.
Let's see. I want to get to this question. Peter Leipsch via email. He emailed us a couple days ago. After listening to the latest in the Hex podcast, had the OG store not taken off as fast as it did, and you were faced with the thought of having to give one of them up, would you still have made the same decision to give up your wealth management job for OG?
No.
At some point in everyone's life, we hit these crossroads of life-changing decisions, and I was curious on your take. I had mine 2 years ago at the age of 46.
No, I would not have. Then I would have had to sell my house and my cars, and then what I'm going to make content about. If I don't have a house or a place to shoot videos, it would have been more the sharing, creating videos of the rise and fall. So no, I wouldn't have. What I would have done is I would have I would have probably treaded water a little lighter. I wouldn't have been as forceful. I wouldn't have pushed my, the Obsessed Garage as forward as I had. And so if it was more infant, I wouldn't have, when they walked me out the door, I wouldn't have stayed away. I would have gone and hung a shingle somewhere else and, been able to, take my time to do it, because I honestly believe that I was headed toward becoming one of the biggest financial advisors in the country, because people are identifying with what I'm doing, and the vast majority of people that are watching what I'm doing are well off, or will be well off, because the vast majority that can get through 45 minutes of me talking, hopefully somewhat intelligently, generally are, going to be more successful in life, or already are. And so I have the perfect audience to provide a solution in wealth management. To this day, right now, I know I probably met 1,000 financial advisors in my life. I'd have no interest in managing my own money, and so I just bought index funds because can't find anybody that I would want to manage my money. And I don't have enough. The few that I would want have like $50 million minimums, and I have 76 million, so I should be good, but I don't want to give them all of that. No, seriously, I was creating a solution for those of us who are looking for somebody that would be, at least somewhat obsessed with that. I talk about that quite a bit in the Hexcast that I did in the membership program, where I talk about my being obsessed, but not fully in. There's a difference between being obsessed with something just because you have to be, and for a career, and then the obsession that I have now, which is pure passion. There's just a different level of execution and different level of energy there. That's just wait until I get in shape, man. Look out, you guys are gonna hate me, because it's gonna be full court press. Bryce is gonna, you don't want it to happen, Bryce. You want to keep buying cookie cakes, because you guys are gonna be in pain.
I'm gonna have a push-up contest between you and Bryce once you're ready.
Still out there on that list of things.
I don't want some stinky cake you guys have all been drooling over. I want the first piece.
Ivan on Facebook has a question. Have you thought about using Blackmagic Pocket 4K cameras? Or are you going full-on Red K in the future?
Well, the problem with those is autofocus, right? And so I can't do full cinema because I don't have Bryce holding the camera 24/7. Same thing with Red or Ari or one of those heavy, big cameras. Certainly it'll do better, but I'm moving around all the time, and I would need somebody focusing, so I guess we could have Bryce set, because now you can pull focus remotely. I didn't realize that a lot of like Hollywood sets and stuff, they have somebody's whole job is just to pull focus.
Yeah, there's a guy with a monitor, with
a
little dial, and
he's
set point where they say this scene starts here,
right
there.
So I need autofocus. And that's why I sold the C100 back when, and now the cinema cameras are coming with dual pixel autofocus, and so that's why the C200 will be here today. I can punt these Sonys right out the frickin' door. I've never gotten so many emails about people wanting the Sony. I guess, but no one said, yeah, let's go. Sony's $2,000 for the body. What do you frickin' think I'm gonna sell it for? $300? So people are so stupid. Like, it's brand freaking new, and it's mine, so it's perfect. Like, what do you think?
It's been coded.
Well, what are you gonna let the Sony go for? And then I just know what they're thinking. They're trying to get it. Well, let's get this rich idiot here with 76 million. I can get it for $250. No, I'm gonna sell it for like $1,600. It's freaking brand new. That frustrates me beyond belief. $350? You think I'm stupid? I would rather go smash it in the parking lot next door than sell it for $350. Freaking idiots. What are you gonna let it go for? No, how about this? This is a new thing. If you're listening to this podcast, when you're gonna buy something from me, and I haven't published it yet, say, hey, Matt, I see you're selling your $2,000 camera, and I'm in the market to buy one. I know it's probably in great shape. I'd like to have the box and everything for it. How about $1,750? Now, I'm going to sell it for $1,500 just to get rid of it. so that I don't have to frickin' play these stupid negotiating games. But do not email me or message me and say, how about would you let it go for $1,200? No, if I ask $1,500, that means it's worth $1,800, and I want it gone, and so I'm asking a ridiculously low price for it. Am I crazy? Or
yes,
people
but not
stupid?
because of that. Not because of that. There's a couple other reasons.
I'm spitting all over the microphone. I got a new tooth in now. By the way, I got a new tooth, so no more. Now I can really start yelling because I don't have the retainer.
The retainer anymore? Oh.
So when I post something, here's how you do it. I'll take it. What's your PayPal address? It's going to be good. If it's not good, it's in the description. I'm telling you exactly what's wrong with it. If there's anything wrong. There's a scratch here or a nick there. I use this for, 4,000 hours, so it's a little beat up. And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to price it accordingly. Don't make me any freaking offers. Just buy it. Leave me out of it.
Tanner has a good suggestion here in the
What's
chat.
that?
I feel like Mac could do a Snickers-style commercial, but with zebra cakes.
No, zebra cakes are out. And the cake, the C's are gone.
Oh, yeah. Let's make that announcement here publicly.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not even talking about no more nutrition talk ever again. I'm just going to silently turn into a killer, an athlete.
We won't.
Again.
All right, cross that off the list.
So, we're cutting out all the C's. The C's, and I figured 3 degrees removed from a C for the cake. Cake could be like a zebra cake, or could be a Hostess or
brownie.
Yeah, bingo. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, Sonys are going to be for sale. If you want to beat people to the punch, here's the secret. Here's the secret with me. You want to beat people to the punch, do a little freaking homework. We made a gosh darn video that showed, well, it was Bryce and Ryan stuttering all the way through it, but it's a video that shows every single freaking thing that I have. So if you want to beat people to the punch, go and figure out what I have. Don't be freaking lazy and say, hey, can I have a list of what you got? No. I'll put that up when it's for sale. So if you want to beat people and you want to get it, this is the genius way to do it. Hey, Matt, like Chris Kim sent me a message, said, hey, Matt, I'd like to buy the body and this lens. He didn't send me a, what do you have? He knew what I had because he did a little freaking homework. Gosh. Yeah, it's in the gosh darn description. What do you have? And then I got to freaking type it up in Instagram. I'm not doing that. Now I'm going to want to, so if you want to snap things up from me and get a deal on something that's always perfect and brand new, don't make any stupid lowball offers. Make something reasonable. And if you want it to beat people to the punch, pay more. That's how it works. That's what I've done a trillion times in my life. Next question.
This is from Ryan on Facebook, Ryan Potts. Would you be interested in switching the GT3 RS for GT2 RS given the chance, or do you prefer the NA engine?
No, yeah. The GT2 sucks. I don't know if anyone would want. You only want that because you can, GT2 doesn't suck, but what's the point? The GT3 is much more engaging. I think it looks better. It doesn't have some weird openings in the front bumper and some other weird crap. The interiors, and doesn't have some red headliner. It looks stupid. But the GT2 just doesn't have as much engagement. Doesn't sound as good. It redlines at 7,500 RPM, so you don't have the same. And you're literally going like 1 trillion miles an hour in like 3.5 seconds. So it's just not. I would, even on a track, I would much rather have a GT3. So, and then you're going to pay for 400, 500, 600 grand for a GT2. Now, if I could have both, sure, sure. But even then, I don't think they're so similar. I don't think I would want both. I'd rather have a GT4. So yeah, a GT2, I have no desire. I'll probably own one someday if I ever get rich. But it's one of those things that I really don't have a desire to own. I drove Sean's and it was great, but it's like I would much rather have a GT3. There's a reason why Sean has a GT3. He's not a GT2. But my buddy Robert has both, but he has all generations. You know, he has a 9.7, he has a 9.1.2, and then he has a, you know, he has the GT2, and I mean, it's one of those cars that, you know, he buy it and keep it forever kind of thing. I just don't have a desire for, you know, I just don't like turbo cars. You know, so the M5 is probably not going to last very long. That'd be an M5 deal coming up here real soon, I bet.
Got a couple quick questions about the store, and maybe some new products coming to the store. How long before the Angel Wax and Swiss Vax items go into the store? That's from Janine on Facebook.
When's Angel Wax due?
Supposedly this week. It's been all around the world. It's taken like 22 days to get here, but
Yeah,
it's not here yet.
So the Angel Wax, Eden, and Bliss, which is the interior scents and vision, will be here. I'm going to test H2O Go on the windshield, and that'll determine whether I buy more Wolf's or H2O Go. I just talked to the guys from Wolf's, you know, today via email. They always want me to buy other stuff. I don't want any stuff. I just want the one thing. I've used pretty much every, maybe not current, but, you know, years ago I bought all kinds of Wolf's products and just never really liked any of the other stuff. So Swiss Vax is ordered, so we're probably a month out on that. It has to come over from wherever the heck they make that. In Switzerland, I would assume, or, you know, for some reason, I said this in the last podcast, I think it's Germany.
No, he commented and said it's Switzerland.
Is it Switzerland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. That you kind of addressed Derek's question here from Facebook. Is Wolf's trim coat and glass sealant, are they going to be available again, or are there new products for this coming?
So trim coat, I'm not going to reorder. Just use Crystal Serum Light on the trim. It's way better than that. It lasts longer. It looks about the same. So I've transitioned to just using the flagship coating that I'm using on my paint on the trim and rubber. So the question will be whether we do H2O Go or you know, Wolf's. And I'm going to find out here shortly. So yeah, it'll be one or the other here real quickly. H2O Go, if it's similar and works as well, it, you know, I thought would be easier to get than the Wolf stuff. But my sneaky suspicion is we'll be doing Wolf. So maybe we should order some more, and then I don't know. I thought I'd have H2O Go done sooner, and I thought Angel Wax would be easier to get.
John Scioli wants to know, he's wondering if there are any plans to carry Stoner's invisible glass aerosol cans.
No, I don't like aerosols. It just makes such a mess. I know a lot of people like that better. Maybe we should.
The thing is, it foams.
It's little
You
dribbles.
Foam the glass, but
Yeah.
it's like it all falls down.
Well, I don't like it because then I hit all the, like, the A pillars and the stuff. I don't know.
Works good on the
But it works great.
All right, Demetrios wants to know, hey Matt, how would you compare the GT3 RS ceramics with the Brembos on the M3?
They feel very similar. Just so smooth, so OE-like, you know. The rotors, I think, are 410 millimeters on the GT3 six-piston versus 380. So a little bigger, and then you got a lighter car, so that, you know, the car does feel like it, and it certainly probably does stop shorter. And then, you know, carbon ceramics also have an added benefit to some extent. But so if you're under heavy braking, the carbon ceramics are probably a little less noisy, a little less you get a little less feedback. But yeah, they're so good on the 1M and the M3. They're just so OE-like. You know, I know you can get more aggressive with like AP Racing or something like that, but I just love them. I mean, I'm absolutely in love with them. I'm going to be hard-pressed. What I'll probably end up doing is doing F80 carbon ceramic retrofit on the E92 at some point, but I'm going to be hard-pressed to do that because the Brembos work so darn well. But the F80s are a Brembo. It's a Brembo set or kit. So I guess it wouldn't be that disappointing to go to that. So yeah, they're fantastic.
Bobby W. from Chad wants to know, in relative terms, how much more aggressive is 101 over the Sonax Perfect Finish, assuming I'm using the same pads and DA?
Well, Perfect Finish you'd almost never use with a cutting pad. You normally use with a foam pad. So you would normally do something like a yellow or a white pad, maybe even a green Rupes pad. And then 101, you're almost always going to use with microfiber, maybe wool. So, I mean, 101 is one of the most aggressive polishes out there. And it's solvent-based, tends to get hot quicker. Same thing with 100. I'm just following, I used to use 100, but 101 is a recommendation of Kilmer and Ward when we had that whole in-depth discussion about the differences between them. They use 100 on rotary and 101 on, on microfiber. So, I mean, you're talking about 2 or 3 magnitudes of cut, versus, this perfect finish. So you would put Cut Max or Jescar, you would put that sort of 2 steps up on the cut scale versus 101. And then, perfect finish is 2 or 3 steps up on the cut scale from those, more mild, polishes. So, Cut Max would be here. So 101 is on the table. Sonax like Cut Max, and there's some HD polishes, some others that are kind of in there, and then Jescar is going to be a couple of steps above Cut Max, and then Perfect Finish starts out, it's more of a finishing type polish. Great one-step polish because it starts out with some cut, but just not a whole heck of a lot. It depends on the paint. I just, I tried a bunch of stuff out there on the M5, and the only thing that really made any kind of dent on the paint was the 101, and so I'm dealing with all of the dust and mess. Again, I like to have 101 on my shelf so that I can chase a scratch here and there, or something that's really nasty. Well, I'm using it on the whole car, which sucks. So there's probably something else out there. I don't have a need for really heavy compounds, and I'm not a rotary guy. I don't have, even if I used a rotary, it would take me 3 times longer because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And then I'd have to fix all the problems from my rotary use. This 101 is what I use for that kind of heavy defect removal. And so I'm using it. This is the first time I've ever used it on a whole freaking car. I've done it on a panel, but not a whole car.
Related to that, Reasonable Paul on Instagram says, I know you're not necessarily a fan of Rupes polishes, but how does Karimik compare to Sonax Perfect Finish in regards to amount of cut? Which one is more aggressive?
I don't like any of those polishes. They're just not good. I mean, this is, I think all of the Rupes polishes are non-diminishing. I'm not sure. And so, Perfect Finish is a diminishing polish, but what you'll find is it's harder to wipe off. There'll be more oil, more dust, harder to wipe off, and doesn't cut as well. So, like the quadruple whammy of not as good. Perfect Finish for me. Or you get, like Menzerna S, now it's called 3500. That would be another great just finishing polish.
Matt Long on Facebook asked a question here. Wait a minute, I lost it. Where'd he go? There it is. Or Matt Townsend, excuse me. When diluting hyperdressing, do you recommend distilled water over regular tap water?
Yeah, I mean, I always diluted it in tap water. We diluted it in 0 ppm deionized water. And so from my understanding, DI water is better to use than distilled, because distilled is very rarely pH neutral, and still has mineral content in it at times. Your distilled water will expire. I learned that lesson when I was doing my pH testing, and so it'll gain alkalinity as time goes on, as oxygen's introduced distilled, and I don't think that happens with DI water. So, but I might be making that up for Dave Phillips and I from PNS were talking about that. He's the chemist. So, yeah, I mean, it certainly can't hurt. It would also probably help with mold and stuff like that tends to generate in a bottle, but it's not necessary. For up to this point, I'd never used DI water for my hyperdressing. I've been using it for 10 years, or longer.
Rutger from overseas, it appears, wants to know, when is it possible to ship Hyde's rust stopper or rust serum to Europe?
I don't know. Is it?
No, it's hazmat. It's a
Oh.
hazardous material, so that one.
What about I thought if we got our IATA certification that then we can ship that kind of stuff.
That may be true. I don't know for certain.
Yeah. So certain products are not, you can't ship by air specifically. So, and to send one package by boat probably cost a fortune and take months.
Let's see. Saeed wants to know, do you know of any other soaps similar to your Decon soap, but for maintenance washes? I've been using Hyperwash for a while now, and it's great, but I like the slimy and very slick feeling of Decon soap, and it smells great too.
No, I don't know of any other soaps because that sliminess comes from a little alkalinity generally. So I don't know of any that have that kind of slickness to it that the Decon soap has. CarPro Reset for a coated car, but even that doesn't foam very well at all, and it doesn't work in a bucket for squat. It just doesn't create a lot of suds. It's designed to kind of spray on and kind of strip. I'm guessing it has some alkalinity to it. But yeah, no, I don't know anything like it.
Rick in the chat here asked a question that I think I saw an email about this morning. The tire and wheel stand that you use would be a huge help in the wheels off cleaning process. Do you have any plans to manufacture and add it to the store?
Maybe. The guy that's making it from Source Garage is like making them one at a time. We talked about the possibility of that as he learns and increases the ability to produce, about being able to offer it. It would make sense for me to offer it. So I know he listens to a lot of this stuff. So I'm doing what I always do and building the brand for other people. So hopefully I'll be able to generate some sort of benefit from that at some point. So I would guess yes. At some point I don't have any aspirations to make that kind of stuff. So I think he's pursuing the finalization of his patent and things like that. So I'd like to be able to sell it, but he'd have to be able to keep up with production on it.
Pancake Sauce asks, when will the exit interview video of Chris's Camry be up? And hopefully soon. We'll see. We'll do a wash and chat, a wash and gripe session.
Yeah, I'll go do it. You'll drive it in the back roads back here, rolling around.
It's taking roads that the Raptor's gone down to.
Yep.
Let's see here. Red Eye Andy wants to know, hey Matt, since you emptied the windshield washer fluid out of the M5, is Angel Wax Clarity the only way to go, and do you have plans to carry it? I'm having trouble finding it.
Well, I want to try it and see how it does. Good. Thanks for reminding me. I forgot about that. No, I'm sure there are lots of them. I always just put DI water in there. And we don't have to worry about freezing. So I wanted to see, would something like that make sense? And so we'll try it. I know there are lots of good solutions. I've just never chased it. So, but yeah, if Clarity's good, then I'm going to buy it and supply it.
Hockey Pickles 23 wants to know, can Hyperwash be left on the paint like how atoms can be left out on the sun in the sun?
I don't know. I've been wondering that. I haven't tested. I talked about this when I was making the video on it. It's not as neutral, right? It still is technically pH neutral, but it has a pH of roughly 8, high 7s, or Adams is really close to 7. So I don't know. My guess is it would leave some residue behind. But still probably better than if you had like 150 ppm parts per million kind of tainted water or greater harder water. Then you're certainly going to be better off. That the hyper wash is going to dilute that down quite a bit or neutralize that quite a bit. So I would guess yes, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried it.
RF Hagee, who also appears to be Russell Hagee in the chat, wants to know, is there an update on the OG Spec Mosmatic Wand pre-order?
Yeah, what's the update, Bryce? Are we ready to roll?
And there, got the collections all made, the things at the top that tell.
Okay, so
Products are all done. We got to go
shoot the video.
figure out those individual nozzles. Been 25, 4.0, but what work? They don't have a
All of them except for 3.5. I'll get you on that. But so we're building out the suite. I'm gonna make the video talking about it. We'll launch it, so the pre-order should go live either late this week, so the next day or so, or early next week.
Trevor wants to know, do you use anything to cover your car seats when you leave the gym, sweaty or dirty, that helps protect your seats?
No, I just roll it. I'm not a particularly how do I say this? I just don't have. I'm not like a smelly, sweaty dude. So the sweat. For years I've just been getting in the car all dripping sweat. Like yesterday, I was literally dripping. I just got on my Alcantara seats and went home and leave it, and I haven't had any issue with it. I guess it depends on your genetics. But yeah, I used to all the time, but now I just roll it. You just jump in and clean the seats once every 6 months, and it hasn't been a problem. So yeah, I don't.
Greg on Facebook wants to know, is the P&S interior cleaner good for both cleaning the dash and interior and protecting it, or will you need another product to protect it? If so, what do you recommend?
I don't think you need any protecting anything on interior parts. It's in the inside of your car, so there's no elements that are affecting it. I guess you could say sun. But, I still have to call Dave and ask him if there's some UV inhibitors or whatever in the product. I just don't care. I've never had an issue with any of that. So I don't do any kind of anything protection-wise to any surfaces of the interior. I think about it like my couch. You go and you buy a couch, and they always want to sell you the Scotch Guard package. Well, then it's like I'm sitting on a rubber couch. I hate that, even though it's a subtle difference. Just don't eat cheeseburgers on your freaking couch. So why do I need some Scotch crap? Smack your kids upside the head if they bring food in there. Have them eat in the kitchen. You drink and eat in the freaking kitchen. I don't need to carry around liquids everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I gotta have a drink in the car. I gotta have a drink in the... No, just drink, walk in your kitchen and get a drink. And then, occasionally we bring water in here because I'm talking a lot. But what do you need why do you need coffee in your car? Please explain that to me.
I don't have coffee in my car, but I do have drinks. I have my water in my car when I come to the gym.
Well, when you go to the gym...
I have a 40-minute ride, too, coming in. I don't have a mile.
So what? What do you need to drink? You can't wait 40 minutes till you get here?
No, sometimes I make my pre-workout in the car. Sometimes I do my post-workout, do some protein shake in the car.
Why wouldn't you just do it at the gym, like near a water fountain?
I guess I could, but...
I just don't... So what do I need protection? What I'm getting at is, why do I need protection?
You don't need protection.
Nobody should need protection. I'm yelling at Michelle. Why do the kids need to eat in the car? Just go home and eat at 3 squares. Like, why is this so irrational? Like, why do you need to have all this crap in your car? I'm yelling at Adam LZ all the time. Why do you have to have coffee in the car? Drink coffee in your kitchen. Or go to Starbucks, suck it down, and call it a day. If you need your crack, then just drink it. Why do we need to carry it around everywhere to show? Is it to look cool? Is that why you need to do that? Then I'd have to be taking a leak. So now I got to stop and take a leak. So I might as well just drink when I'm stopping to take a leak. Just leave it out of the car.
How can you not look cool carrying this around all day?
A purple blender bottle. Like, what?
I can barely see the measurement thing.
Why? Just so stupid. They should take cup holders out of cars altogether.
Matt's on the same page with you. This Matt in chat, Matt Duffy. Cup holder delete video coming soon.
Yeah. What do we need a freaking cup holder for? Because when if I have my water bottle, I tuck it under the seat so it doesn't bounce around when I'm driving like an idiot. Every time I come to the gym, that's like the one time I get a chance to let it rip, and I hammer on the brakes, downshift. And then, I don't want water flying around in my freaking old stinky Starbucks with Chick-fil-A bags all, just eat at home. Eat and drink in your kitchen.
Cheeseburgers in the kitchen only.
So I don't need protection. And don't freaking coat your seats. What do we need to coat a seat for? It's already coated. And you're just slapping some crap on there, and then it never feels as good again.
Why does Matt hate hydration?
That's another stupid thing. Drink when you're thirsty. This whole, like, you got to drink a lot of water. Just get thirsty. If you're not thirsty, you're probably not working out hard enough.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm thirsty all the freaking time, so just drink water. Like, when you're thirsty. Why do you need to, like, force yourself to drink water? Just drink it when you're thirsty.
That's good.
In the kitchen. Like a freaking grown-up. What are we, a bunch of babies? God.
Oh, this is fun. Let's see. Come on.
You're manipulating me here into this. These questions.
I was challenged to make you hate hydration, and I just succeeded. Kamal from Instagram wants to know, how do you maintain or refinish a coating, specifically CSL plus EXO?
G-Technic doesn't have a solution for that. But like, I guess you probably could use CarPro Essence on it or HD Speed. So you would want something with very little cut, and you would want something that, I guess, replenishes the silicon dioxide, and you have to figure out what plays well together. For me, I'm not going to dress up the coating. I'm going to remove it and start over. So I'm going to try to maintain it for a year and a half or so, and hopefully it doesn't get contaminated. What I would do is hit it with my Decon Soap maybe once a year, but I want to try not to clay it or decontaminate it, manually. I want to, try to just maintain as long as I can and just deal with the fact that, at month 14 through 20, it's not going to look quite as good as it did, and then I'm just going to compound it and start over. Remove it and do it over again. Like on the truck, we're 2 years in, two and some and change in on the Seacort's TiO2. It's still beating, but I got some water etching and some, if you ran your hand across it, some contamination, and so it still looks okay. But rather than me trying to replenish that, I'm just going to start over, remove it and start over would be my recommendation.
Do you have any recommendations on how to get small/micro scratches out of glass? From Brian on Facebook.
Good luck with that, man. So you can polish glass, but glass is rock freaking hard. It's not like clear coat that's pliable, and flexible. And when you heat it, it changes. So glass, you can polish if, depending on how deep they are. CarPro Siri glass with a rayon pad is pretty much the standard. So what you would want to do is have Siri glass, and Siri glass is relatively expensive, and it dries out pretty quickly, especially since you need to sit there and grind away for long periods of time. So you'd want a little spray bottle of distilled water or DI water, and you'd want to just keep spritzing and keep polishing, keep spritzing, and lots of pressure, lots of time. So to work on, like, say, a 12 by 12 or maybe 20, you'd want to stay smaller, a 12 inch by 12 inch area. You're talking about 45 minutes of polishing, that one spot for very minimal change, very minimal results. It's easier to just buy a new freaking windshield.
You can catch it just barely with your fingers. Don't even.
Yeah, forget it. Yeah, if you can feel it, or if it's pitted, you're not getting there.
I have experience with that.
Yeah.
It was the worst day of my life.
Yeah, there's no. So a new windshield is $300, $400, $500. Just buy a new one, or just deal with it. So it's one of those things that polishing glass is, to me, more just to remove, like, if you live by the ocean or something, get rid of some of that kind of ugly look to it. Like the M5 has some ugly water spotting and stuff, and so I'm just compounding with M101 just to clean it up. But removing scratches and, the inevitable area where your wiper blades kind of wear in, and kind of etch the glass, there's just no way around that other than replacement.
Fast Eddie in the chat has a good, if not fraudulent, way to deal with it. Easier to throw a rock at your windshield and then call the insurance company. There you go.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
They'll do it for free. Let's see. Nick Wood on Facebook says, I recently got new wheels and Continental tires.
Mm-hmm. I
cleaned the tires, or so I thought, with Stoner's tar remover and coated the wheels. Now the tires look to have slick spots and the finish looks uneven. Do you have any tips to fix this? that won't remove my Geon rim coating if I accidentally get it on the wheel.
Well, part of you're kind of seasoning your tires, and the different rubbers and different generations of tires and different brands of tires have different, different whatever it is where the stuff comes to the surface. And so your tires are almost always going to look kind of uneven unless you use some like tire coating like a Tough Shine or something like that. So you can't be a perfectionist when it comes to that. But what you'll find is my process of new tires and prepping them is just Terminator, clean them up as much as I can, and then I'm going to put my first application of Pearl on there, which isn't going to last very long at all because I feel like it needs to kind of seep in. I might be making that up. But then, the first cleaning of the tires, and then I'm putting it back on. But, Pearl or Adams VRT or Chemical Guys, whatever they call their version of it, all of these kind of hyper dressing, none of them are going to have a perfect finish on your tires. And so, you're always seeing my cars on camera and in photos where everything looks perfect. But it's not, there's still some higher and lower spots. And that's also where the wipe down comes in. If you wipe it a little more aggressively, and I usually just do a soft kind of wipe and just deal with some of the higher and lower spots of a tire dressing. But unfortunately, it's part of the game with tires, you find. And, you remember that removing a coating is so freaking hard to do that you're going to have to, a Terminator isn't going to remove your coating. It may clog it up or damage it a little bit, but it's not removing it. That's for darn sure. And so I don't think you really need to worry about getting stuff on your, coating and stuff. It's really kind of hard to mess up a coating.
TC Carlson on Facebook wants to know, while the issues and vetting with the press-all bottles and tips are getting worked out, is there a different option that you would recommend in the meantime?
Not really. That's the unfortunate thing. The simple solution is use the Tolco sprayer, that's everywhere. It's what's come with like the McGuire's bottles and the Beadmaker bottle, and it's the problem is they leak and they don't last forever. They're like, cost on those is like $1.20 or something, like they sell for $3. Griot sprayers are okay, but they kind of get janky over time. And so hopefully, what I was started to think about the other day is maybe I should buy, I don't think this would work, but Quasar sprayers on, so the Quasar current generation sprayer on a press-all bottle. I just never liked the Quasar sprayers because they pinch my hand, but they have that new version with the rounded sprayer. I don't know. Neither company would probably go for that, but I don't know. I think those have the same problems. I've always had the same problems with those that I've had with the press-all stuff. So, Kyle made a good point the other day, is what has press-all been using in these bottles? Because, they must be new or something. I don't know. So I contacted Yolanda again a couple of days ago, said, what's going on? She said, I'm still working on it. So they're still, hopefully they're putting some time and effort in. But my wager is this is going to take years to get right. So thanks to you to create enough noise that and we'll start to compile the data. As what I'm waiting for is the second generation to get moving, and it's been taking them for a while. We placed the order a month and a half ago, and then while that's in transit is when I want to release the dock and then provide them the dock of generation 1. And then as generation 2 rolls out, then we'll create a new dock. We'll do the same thing, wait 2, 3, 4 months for people to compile information, and then go from there.
I have a couple technical questions about the store here. Maybe Bryce can chime in. From Gabe on Facebook, what's the ETA on adding a wish list for your account on the store?
I probably tried out like 10 different wish lists. All crap.
Wish list apps, and none of them work well.
They're
In case you couldn't hear that, he said he's tried about 10 of them and none of them are just right yet.
Because they're not native, right? It takes you somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like some little building this big, and one guy that's making it happen.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of support to that type of thing on
It's
on
you get a wish list, but
Shopify.
It comes with 20 other things. I'm like, I just want a wish list. I don't want these crap that comes.
Yeah. So there's not a solid, viable solution as yet, unless we write the software, and it's hard to do, really expensive. But yeah, I would like to have that. Like B&H has a wish list, which is really sick. Yeah, B&H does, B&H does, 400 million or half a billion in sales a year, something insane.
From Larry on Facebook, please add a way to watch all Hex videos in order that they were uploaded. I don't like jumping back and forth to try to keep the chronology in order. So there's a suggestion there. I don't know how that works, because
aren't they in order from oldest to newest, from top to bottom in the blog? Yeah.
Sometimes when I search it, it goes by the most recent activity. So if somebody commented on one, that one goes to the top.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll look at that later.
Yeah, we'll dig into that.
Christopher Cunningham on Facebook asks, about 6 months ago, you uploaded a video showing a plot of land for a potential new building. Any update on that, or is it a bust?
Somebody bought it.
So that was the 70-something acre...
Actually, one of my douchiest competitors in wealth management bought it.
Guy on all the billboards around here?
No, not that guy. Another douche guy. Like one of these slick dudes that all show no substance, but they're making tons of cash. I think he paid cash for it. So, it sold. And so I was looking at another property that I showed in the membership program, and we're not going to be able to get trucks in and out of there, so that's not going to work. So I'm just keeping my options, keeping my eyes open. We're not ready to buy something on that scale yet anyway, so it doesn't do me any good to want it and not, I don't want to take that big of a risk. At some point, we're going to have an economic, pullback. And when that happens, I don't want to be stuck holding the bag with a giant note that, if sales drop 50%, which is very likely at some point, I want to be able to absorb that and not change my life and fire everybody. I don't want to have to do that.
Jared Tyler on Instagram asks, I park in a shared garage and I'm not allowed to do any mechanical polishing. Also, I'm not comfortable applying a ceramic coating myself. I've been using Optimum Spray Wax, but are you still against using Meguiar's hybrid ceramic spray, or do you have any other suggestions?
Yeah, I don't know in that situation. I mean, that's where, some of these spray on, wipe off, or spray on water activated things might work, sealant type thing. I don't know. I'm just such a bigger proponent of having a solid base layer and then just topping that regularly. Just looks better, lasts longer, and is much better. The spray on stuff is just more of it. It's more show than anything. Yes, they're hydrophobic. Yes, there's some advantage to having hydrophobic, less surface tension. But it's not the same as having an actual protective layer. They appear, from a 20-foot view to have the same capabilities. But you're just because water beads doesn't mean that you're getting any kind of protection. There's gaps in that layer of silicone that you're slapping on the surface. So you always want to try to get it waxed, and so I would find a detailer and have them, wax or prep it, or go find. You got to have some buddies that have some place to go. So borrow your dad's garage or something like that, and prep the car, and then just wash it like at a quarter car wash like we talked about last week.
Do you have or know of any viable way to in the future ship cabinets internationally? That's from Sam on Instagram.
There is. I mean, you can ship it. It's just not. It's so darn expensive. You're gonna have to put on a pallet, and if you ship that air, my gosh,
it gets really pricey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're going to double the cost, double the price, and then you got import taxation and stuff like that. The viable way would be to have a distribution center somewhere else. But cabinets we sell so infrequently. I mean, it's not every day that we sell a $20,000 array of cabinets. So even the cabinet makers don't sell that much. So it's not it's not one of those things where where we're selling it every single day hundreds of thousands of dollars of cabinets to justify that. But maybe someday. Sabre just sold to another person. I was in the running, but I decided not to buy it. The purchase, we'll see what happens with that. But distribution and selling of these cabinets would have to be international distribution to get them there.
And we're doing a fairly sizable order to Canada right now, and that's even pretty pricey just to go across the border. So
yeah, they've got a value-added tax, import tax, and then you've got every provider. You have to get a customs broker, and you got to pay them, and so it gets expensive. And then you got currency exchange issues and things like that.
Brandon in the chat wants to know, what is your take on using personal protective equipment, PPE, while washing or detailing cars using car washing chemicals?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen I've kind of moderated on some things, like when I use the leaf blower, it very clearly, especially when you're holding it up over the hood, I mean, it's right in your ear, so I use ear protection. I don't find it necessary to use any kind of ear protection when I'm polishing. The polishers are just flat out not that loud. And I know the pneumatic sounds really loud in video, but the pneumatic's actually quieter than the I wouldn't say it's not as loud. I wouldn't say quiet, but it's not as loud as the electric stuff. So, you've seen me, I've used gloves a lot more. So it just depends on what like if I'm doing anything that's a heavy chemical, like a coating or something like that, I'm always going to put gloves on. Or if I'm cleaning with Terminator or something like that, I'm going to put gloves on. But, like a polish, I don't get a lot of that on my hands other than the towel. And I don't foresee the need to wear any kind of eye protection. I mean, when I cut the exhaust off, I needed to have some glasses, but I just didn't have any. So you saw me holding it, squint. I did the squint technique and look the other way technique. And then, the thing with polishing, I'm polishing a couple of times a year. And most of the polish isn't a big deal. Now this M101, like if I was going to be using this all the time, I would definitely be doing some sort of, covering my, at least covering my nose. I don't know that I'd go all the way to respirator, but I'd do at least some sort of filter. So yeah, I mean, I probably should, but I mean, even washing the car and you put gloves on and then you're wrapping yourself in a condom every time you walk outside the house, at some point you kind of just have to just chalk it up to, you got to draw the line somewhere.
Let's see. EC in the chat wants to know, do you see a benefit in having two-piece rotors versus one piece if all the other brake components are the same for a weekend street-only car?
No, I mean, a two-piece rotor would be more for show than anything, because you're generally not gonna disassemble them. You're probably gonna just buy a whole new one. The advantage of two pieces is that if you're on the track all the time, you're blowing through them. You don't want to buy a new hat, so you take it apart and it costs you, maybe $100 less. But if you're on the street, and you're just driving like, moderately aggressively like I do, then, once every 6 years you're going to need a new rotor. I think it does so two piece, one piece. It's just more dependent on what caliper are you choosing and what, or using OE and what rotor do you like. So I find that it's, having one piece, two piece doesn't really matter that much to me. Or in that case, really doesn't matter that much because you're not going to be rolling through them all the time. Especially if they're good, it shouldn't warp. Then you should, if it's a single piece rotor, I mean, what's the savings? Like on my Brembos that are multi-piece, then you got to torque them right. They got to be torqued to spec properly, and it becomes a little bit more sophisticated than I'm willing to go to deal with two-piece stuff. So now I have two-piece rotors, where the hat is separate from the, from the actual metal that contacts the pad, the face of the rotor. But I don't think I would just buy new rotors altogether. I don't think I would ever do it. Just take them apart.
Jonathan Hernandez here in the chat wants to know, would you ever consider riding along in one of Adam LZ's drift events?
Yeah, it's just for the fun of it, but I have no desire to do it. But, maybe someday. I'm sure he'll get me in there at some point, and I won't have fun. I don't want to be in that hunk of crap car that you're pretty much guaranteed to die in.
You get an active, like,
yeah.
heart rate, little thing that shows the heart rate.
Yeah. I just I have no desire to do that. Some stinky old car. It's still hot and sweaty and just garbage. No, I have no desire to do it. But I'm sure he'll convince me to get in one of them at some point. I don't even want to go to drift events. I have nothing in common with any of those people. You know, so you drifters out there, I mean, it's just that the generation is. I mean, people don't wash, and like you know,
cars or themselves,
both, yeah, and you know, and it's just not that has no like they're allergic to vacuum cleaners. Like can't you vacuum your carpets? I understand that it's a drift car and it might get dinged up a little bit, but why can't you like vacuum off the you know, or wipe off the dash? Why does it have to be scummy?
Yeah. You can eat cheeseburgers in there.
I want everything to look good. Make the whole car look good. And then when you break it, get it fixed. Buy another fender. First get a job. Then maybe you can actually afford to do a hobby that's really expensive. Stop making frickin' excuses about how that's just the way life is. You know, that's not my style.
Scooby Freak 86 wants to know, would you ever consider buying a sub 40K all-wheel drive car and modding that? For instance, STI, Golf R, Focus RS. Would be cool to see your take on something more obtainable for us normal folk.
Yeah. You know, well, I did it with the S2000, and I could see myself buying, like, I'd like to buy like an STI hatch. I think those things are pretty sick. And it would come down to, you know, boredom. Like, I'm bored with what I have, and I've kind of owned a bunch of stuff. It's hard though, because there's so many great cars in the, you know, that $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 range that, you know, are just that much better. You know, but yeah, maybe. You know, I almost bought an EK or what is it, EG Civic, but then I would hate it. And then you'd hate me because I'd telling you how much I hate your car. And then, so that doesn't really help me all that much. But yeah, I mean, I'd be interested. It's fun to, you know, a lot of these lower end cars have a lot more modifications, so it's a lot more fun to chase. But yeah, Golf R would be cool. Do something like that. Do a crazy stereo in it. That'd be kind of sick.
218s.
No, not 18s. Do 212s. Maybe 210s.
Matt Duffy suggests import an R34.
Absolutely not. Those cars are so stupid. They suck so much. Why does everybody like those stupid cars? They like those cars because everybody else likes those cars. They're freaking stupid. Same thing with the Gen whatever Supra. Those cars suck. You ever seen one? They're like 800 horsepower. They can't even drive. Like, they're sliding around all over the place. Interior sucks. The seating position sucks. So those cars are so dumb, and they're ugly. Butt freaking ugly. So I just hate. Why does everybody like those cars?
It's childhood nostalgia. Have you ever seen Fast and Furious?
Screw nostalgia. Nostalgia. And I don't understand why kids are born in like the 2000s like those cars. What is the appeal? They weren't even alive. They sucked then and they suck now. I don't understand. Would you pay $100,000 for a stupid car? You're driving on the wrong side of the car. It's ugly. It's junk. It doesn't work. They don't make any parts for them. It's just dumb. Wait, you know, freaking whatever GTRs are heavy. It's dumb. Dumb cars. Supra, dumb car. With no interest in the new Supra. Stupid. Just buy a Z4. That's a stupid car too. So, yeah, no interest, no desire. Will never do that. If you gave me one, I'd punt it in the trash. You're just like, what is the point?
Would you rather drive that for 2 weeks in R34 or my Camry for 2 weeks?
No, R34 for sure.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
See, it's not
R32, R30, whatever, some old, all those, basically every car that Adam owns, I don't want anything to do with. Just junk. Yeah, we bust on each other all the time. You know, he thinks I'm crazy, and I'm like, cars are junk.
Question: what is your favorite car that Adam does own?
Yeah, it's a freaking GT3. Or the GT350, the only two cars he has that work.
Let's see. We had a couple questions here about the Apple credit card you posted a picture of. Did you get one of those? Have you used it? What's the deal there?
Yeah, I got it. Used it. It's stupid though. I didn't realize you can't add a family member. That's the dumbest thing ever. Yeah.
No Michelle.
Write that down.
Stupidest thing ever.
Reason
Apple
number
card.
4.
Yeah, so my card should be here soon, but you can do it on the phone. I bought some I bought some DoorDash with it. I'm gonna have to buy some right now because unless Michelle brought me some lunch.
So what's the draw or the appeal or like a benefit that the Apple card offers?
I don't know. I just think it's cool.
Gotcha.
I don't give a crap about the benefits to credit cards. People get all bent on it. That's a passion for some people. Just give me 1 point or something and whatever. You know what I realize is that the points on the darn Amex Platinum are junk compared to the Chase one. It's dollar for dollar on travel versus, $0.75 for dollar on, you get a 25% increase on Chase. So I'm going to want you to call everybody and change it back to the Chase.
You gotta go back to Chase now.
Points are whatever. I don't know. The Apple card is cool. I think it looks cool. And I like Apple. So I got one.
Let's see here. Ego sees the CD certificate right there.
Yeah.
Any update on your SV?
No, I got to get that done.
Remind us what that stands for. What's the
CD is certified detailer and SV is skills verified. So I need to get the skills verified certification, and then you have the RT, which is registered trainer. I think it's RT. I want to do that one as well. So I've got to get with Bob Phillips or Levi, somebody who is a RT in order to take me through the process of becoming an SV. So you pay whatever, a couple $100 or something like that to do that. So, or I could go to some a skills verified thing somewhere. Wouldn't it be funny if I failed? I just compounded an M5 with a 101 and a microfiber pad, and and I'm gonna be steam cleaning the wheel wells and the calipers, and then I wouldn't be. I'm just a charlatan, Chris. I'm not chasing, scratching. I'm wet sanding on the thing, removing emblems, installing parts, and I don't know what I'm doing, so maybe I wouldn't pass.
Let's see. We have a couple of people who mentioned here in the chat about Tommy F. Yes, so I guess his Krenslow arrived and he made a video. Did you see that? I
haven't watched it yet. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So Tommy wanted one, so I got him one, and then also Motion Auto TV. Check that one out too. We did a Comet for him for Trevor, and so there's a couple of videos up there from those guys. Tommy bought a bunch of other stuff too.
5 gallons of beef.
Did he? He bought a 5-gallon Bee Baker?
I think he did. 5 gallons.
He's got a lot.
Yeah. Tommy and me would be unlikely characters to be buddies, but he's actually we're a lot alike, actually.
Hey, there you go. It's on his channel. It's entitled "The Best Purchase I've Ever Made" 4 days ago. So
boom,
go check that out.
Yeah, well, that's cool. How many views does that have?
Let's see, 51,000.
Dang, there's more views than I've ever gotten on a Krenslow video. So yeah, his engagement is much higher than mine is. So, yeah. We
had a few people in chat, and then Stu Magoo on Instagram asks, how are you planning to do the 1M drawing? Will it be a live stream? Are you going to post a video?
We were just talking about that. Yeah, I think I'll live stream it. Maybe we'll do it Monday. Just roll.
It's Labor Day, and it's...
Oh, here we go.
Whatever. What does Labor Day have to do with anything?
Labor.
Oh, for you guys, maybe. I have labor every day. So, I don't know. We got to schedule something. I'd like to do it at night so people can get on and see it.
So, probably something live.
Gosh, who's going to win that? Who's going to win that thing, man?
And then when we do the drawing, do we pull a name, or are they assigned a number or an order number? Do you know how that works? Like we say,
So what are we going to do? We're going to have a random number generator. We're going to take everybody's name. So you better get rolling on that.
I think he's been.
Well, how are you going to do the duplication? So.
Duplication, you just put it in sheets.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so you're gonna pull in all the Hex Plus members. We pull those in, put them in sheets, and then just do a 6x on each person.
Yeah, I go and remove any of the people that had canceled, and I just.
Who's canceling?
Well, there's been people that have had canceled and had to like read.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, so then if you're Hex Light, then you get a 2x.
Yeah, so I just copy that whole list and I just do it again.
Got it. All the shirts are a single entry. So if you bought 22 shirts, you get 22 entries.
Yeah.
So we'll pull all that into the sheet.
CSV as each item. If you did an order with 5 shirts, we'll show 5 shirts.
Yeah,
there.
right. So we'll have So we can easily pull in that. So that person's gonna get.
Yeah. And then I have filters, so I can see the one guy who bought one from Argentina. I'm like, he didn't obviously read where it is, so I just delete him.
Right.
Out.
Yeah. So somebody that doesn't qualify because they're in the wrong country or something.
I can put a billion filters on there. Cancel their shirt. Or
right.
Did this or did that.
So then we're gonna literally click the button, and it's gonna give me somebody's name.
I'm not even clicking a button. How it works is the generator. I take the CSV. I copy all the names you have.
Yeah.
Put it in. Scrambles everyone around, so it's just not everyone just after each other.
Yeah.
And then it pulls one person out of that scrambled list.
Yeah.
So.
And I hope it's not some tool.
Some douchey kid.
From New Jersey.
Yeah, from New Jersey.
It's got to be someone cool. And I'm telling you, people, it could be anybody. It could be of someone you guys have seen in a video. It could be somebody that's 18 and a douchebag. It could be some old lady. It could be anybody. And that was the one key requisite, is I wanted to make sure that Mike Figuera can enter, or Dave Plotz can enter. Anybody that isn't an employee, as long as they're not an employee. So moderators can, Raz and Chelsea could win. Moderators could win. Anybody could win. Whether I know them or not. And so hopefully somebody cool gets the thing. How are we looking on dollars? I should have made a darn push. Or 141,000.
Approximately. There's still some.
Less my claimed $90,000 cost, $95,000 cost. So I'm $40K to the good. Shoot, we should have done a little more work, and I could have paid for a Z06.
Yep. And we're right around 4,500 entries as of this morning.
Does that factor in the multiple? So the 6x multiple?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you buy a coin, you have a 1 in 4,600 chance.
Right. If you're a Hex Plus member, you have a 6 in 4,600 chance, and so on. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good odds,
If you bought 20 shirts, you got a 20 in 4,600. So.
Yikes.
That's as of today. We still have what? Today, this is the 29th, 30, and 31st. So you got 3 days left.
So tomorrow I'm going down to, actually let me text Sean. He was just messaging me. I'm going down to get the suspension done. Yes, sir. I'm doing a suspension. And then,
Dallas Smith, when he wins, he said he hopes you think he's cool enough. And Hockey Pickles 23 is 18 and from New Jersey.
And, oh, shoot. What about the douchebag? Do you hit the triple whammy?
He didn't claim that. But then Matt Long says, I bet you like Canadians too, don't you? Matt.
Oh, man.
Not Janine Long. That was Matt
And
Long.
then what you should do, just to be funny, is you should make a call and say, hey, Matt, it's kind of pulling a little to the right. What should I do to fix that? I will reach through the phone and strangle you. Shoot, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, so let's see. Let's look at the calendar here. So we should do. This is live. This is engaging. So
great radio.
Yeah.
Everyone, pull out your calendar right now.
We should just do it on. I should just do it on freaking Labor Day on Monday, because everybody will be off, and then I could do it at noon. and I'll just live stream from my freaking iPhone. I don't need Bryce. I've turned into a grandpa. I need help. Bryce, how do I do this? I could just do a live stream from my iPhone. Oh wait, I need to know how to do the random number generator thing.
Yeah.
So scrap that.
I need to make a docket for you.
So maybe we should do
Tuesday. Wednesday looks a little busy there, but
how should we do this?
It one of those nights.
Tuesday at
September 3rd.
Yeah, so that's only, 2 days after it's over.
All right.
Can we have the spreadsheet done by then?
Yeah, I should take that one.
Okay.
Just kind of waiting for, I want to, start building the list.
Yeah.
Random people. Because the way...
Let's do it Wednesday. Wednesday the 4th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, because I don't want anybody to have to work it later. And it'll take us... You'll get me set up. You'll generate the thing, and we'll do it just like this. We'll do it live stream podcast. So you're gonna have to work 20 minutes late.
I did that already. So
Yeah, Bryce is already here late anyway.
You got to finish up this appointment.
Ah, crap. Yeah, that's not gonna work because we're gonna go long on that. I can just shorten that. Nah, I can't shorten that. Pan, I'm doing, Pan is on I'm going to do a podcast with Pan. We won't do it live, and we won't do it video. We're just doing it on Zencaster, and then I'm going to just put it on the podcast, not on YouTube, because he's not here. So I'm going to be doing it, when he's up there. We can't do it Friday because we're doing the color lock stuff. So yeah, let's do it Tuesday. Tuesday at 4:30.
Tuesday,
and that might change, so we'll see if we can get it done by then. So I'm not gonna extend it. We had the option to extend it legally, so we're not going to extend it. I'm just gonna get so I made 50 G's roughly. So hopefully you guys will buy another 25 grand worth of stuff, and I can make 75 grand on a lot of freaking work. And then the millions I made on all the video views, right? People think you get that YouTube ad revenue.
We got people offering to palm Bryce a hundo if he accidentally duplicates it.
Let's keep me out of jail here, people. How many hundos can you get there, Bryce? That's why I want to do it live. I don't want any accusations. I don't want any bull crap. I don't want anybody yelling, and screaming and saying this is rigged. It's not freaking rigged. I'm the most honest dude you've ever met. Look at me, honest to a fault. I'm yelling at you about Kevin drinking coffee. So we're going to do this on the up and up. Take the people, put them in, and see what happens. See who wins.
All right, we got one last question I want to get here to from Facebook. Our buddy David Plotz wants to know, if you could be on any other podcast, who would be your top choice?
Joe Rogan.
All right, and if you could have anyone else on your podcast, who would you choose? Other than me.
Let's see. I don't really care about any other people. I only care about myself, apparently. Who would I want to talk to?
Who has good story to tell? Or that you could get some good stuff out of?
Who would I want to talk to?
Now we got Canadians in the chat claiming they're going to win. Tanner.
I'm going to make the Canadian. You're going to have to. It's going to be such a pain in the rear to get the car up there. I have no idea how we're going to do it. You guys are going to have to. You and Bryce are going to have to figure that out.
We're going to drive it ourselves. Yeah.
You two are going to drive it.
We'll vlog it.
Then it'll break, and I'll have to. Yeah, no.
It'll be the one time I want Canadian to win, so me and Bryce can go on a road trip to Canada.
What was I just talking about? Who would I have on the podcast?
Yeah, who would you? If you could have anyone else on your podcast.
I don't know. I've kind of had all the people that I had an interest in having on, because I just don't get starstruck.
Someone big at Porsche, so you get that relationship. There you go.
Nah. Preuninger's kind of told everything he needs to tell. I probably want to have Bob on the podcast, Bob with the garage in New Jersey. I could probably convince him to come on. Just to tell his story. It's fascinating.
Yeah, what is the update there? Is there we actually
I gotta go up in the fall. He's recovering from some health stuff, so I'm kind of waiting for him to get back to full strength so I can go up and hang out. So and shoot videos in the garage. So that's the story.
Gotcha.
I gotta eat something. I'm starving.
All right. Well, before we go, since we're doing the drawing on Tuesday, your CrossFit buddy Brian Baker wants to know, you gonna do this in the middle of a hurricane? So folks have been asking all the hurricane prep you've done.
Stupid. Yeah, it rains every day. Who cares? A freaking stupid hurricane. Yeah, unless you guys aren't here, I'll be here.
Blow away, Chris.
Yeah, there's
blow away.
The issue would be if we didn't have power.
yeah, the power is the.
Can't get a list.
So subject to blackout, and we'll have to do it on Thursday or something.
Hopefully they cut the trees.
We avoided hurricanes for the most part last year. 2 years ago, I was like 4 or 5 days without power.
That was 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I think I was 5 days without power. Everybody's like, "Are you okay?" Don't email and ask if I'm okay. I'm telling you right now, yes, I'm okay. No one's dying in 85-mile-an-hour winds. I can tell you that right now. So just leave that part out. It's ridiculous. What you want to know is, dude, is your roof messed up? If your roof's messed up, then your house is freaking screwed. And then that sucks. But then that's why you have insurance. If you don't have insurance, it's your own dumb fault for being that stupid for not having insurance. So, just don't ask me if I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay. Ask if my M3 is okay.
Oh yeah, do you have plans to store those anywhere else if needed?
I actually can bring them all here so the metal building can fall down on them. Bring them all into one spot. That's why I could start fresh and have a whole new projects. Yeah.
I like to park my cars where I know there's going to be flooding and hope for
the best.
So my sister did. There's like a palm tree like
this looks it looks like a low spot with lots of trees that could fall.
I know a couple good spots.
Yeah, all right.
All right, last thing I want to touch on here. This is, Kyle brought this to my attention the other day since he's the one maintaining this spreadsheet, but we just went over the 2,000 Krensla order list.
Yeah, but that's missing about 800 because we didn't start that until later in the game.
Yeah, so let's see. This starts in April of 17.
Okay, so maybe not 800. It's several hundred short. Yeah.
So
cool.
Over 2,000 Krensla units or Krensla orders.
10,000 to go.
We're getting there.
100,000 to go. Let's keep rolling. So anyway, you guys do the math on that. That's cool.
Any ETA on the new Mosmatic stuff, or still November-ish?
Yeah, I would say December-ish. Yeah, with those guys. So yeah, we're gonna get it, and you're gonna want to nail your spot down because they're gonna come in little spurts. So, and the fittings are just ridiculous. Ridiculously expensive, but ridiculous quality. They're just insane. I just pray that we get them out in the wild and they don't all start falling apart. I'd find it very hard for them to fall apart. They're just so smooth. They better be for a $50 coupler, So you'll see. They'll be up in the store here shortly. So help me finance this purchase because we have a big bill coming. Anyway, that's all we got.
That's all we got.
That's all I got. 2 podcasts back to back while doing a vlog. I'm going to go out and polish now. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching if you're watching on YouTube. And 1M raffle coming. It's going to go to someone cool. And then I guess I got to start shopping for a Corvette, bro. I haven't heard back from Dynan yet. So unless Dynan calls and says, let's roll, I'm going to be getting a Corvette. And then maybe we'll do a giveaway on it. After looking at those numbers, maybe we'll do it. The problem is that I'm going to have all my BMW Porsche fans aren't going to want that car.
Yeah, well, I think there's plenty of Corvette fans out there. We just got to find them.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Catch you on the next one.